What's going on, ladies and gents? Your boy Jay Evans, and I'm here with the lovely
Patty
guest
J,
of the day.
Patty J, you're...
This is our first episode of our podcast. There ain't no name, so it's a John Doe Part 1. You are until we figure something else.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But Patty J in the building. How we living?
Surviving.
What you mean by surviving, man?
We live in New York. And I live in the Bronx. That's how we surviving. Fighting for our life every day.
Fighting for our life every day is crazy. So tell the people about yourself a little bit, man. Obviously you already say where you from.
Well, my background is, my family's from the U.S. Virgin Islands and St. Kitts and Nevis.
So why everybody think you Jamaican?
I strongly dislike when people think I'm Jamaican. I'm not Jamaican. Nothing against y'all. I fuck with y'all.
We're the main character of the islands. You do know that, right?
Yeah, okay.
We are dead the main character. We make the best food. Everybody want to be like us. And we make the best music. Let's really talk about it. Reggae's better than soca, but that's another thing.
I'll give y'all the food. I'll give y'all the music. I ain't gonna be no hater.
You have the most fun in Jamaica, I swear to God.
But have you seen the blue waters of the USBI?
We got blue waters too. What you mean? The only place I don't got blue water in Mexico. Shout out to them. Nice. I ain't gonna lie. I went over there, bro. Talking about at the time they was like, oh yeah, the tides is like too bad or whatever. Like, bro, this water is dark as hell, bro. Mad black. I would not want to go in there. Listen, shout out all Mexicans.
I went to Jamaica for 8 days with a friend of mine from Jamaica. She took me to a freaking lake the whole time I was there. Yet to see a beach.
A lake is crazy. I mean, I only went to Montego Bay. It was a vibe out there, but the water was definitely blue. Trying to sell you weed and all that on the.
You gotta go to the VI.
Yeah.
You have to go there. The ladies is nice out there.
Definitely nice, bro. Definitely nice. Yeah. I'll say I need to go on some bros ish, you know. No more vacations for right now. I'm trying to chill, you know. Save my
Speak
coins.
For yourself. I'm outside.
Save my coins, man. Yo, growing up, how's it like living in a Caribbean household for you?
For women?
I mean, damn.
Stress. Cook and clean. Take care of your man.
Well, you feel like there's a difference between men and women?
Absolutely.
So elaborate.
Absolutely. The men, y'all get to do whatever the hell y'all want. Y'all
what
are
you
like
mean?
The princes of the family. Sleep past noon, while the girls have to get up early in the morning and clean, do laundry, cook, take care of the kids.
I got my fair share of like getting my butt whooped. You know what I mean?
Getting up rarely compared to women.
I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a good candidate for this because I grew up in a fairly Yankee household. I mean, my mom came from Jamaica when, I don't even know what year, but she went to England first and then came here. So like, she was already like super like kind of like whitewashed by the time she got here. Even though other people that speak to my mom, they'd be like, yo, they can hear like her accent. I don't hear it, but I don't know. I can't give like the most in-depth analysis of how like living in a Caribbean household is. Just for the most part, like, you all got raised the same. Like, you do something wild, you get beat.
No,
and I don't think there's no special treatment.
I feel like, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I'm assuming a lot of people have this same thing happen in their household. But we were abused, okay? Caribbean household, people grew up in Caribbean household were abused, and we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to say it, but that's ultimately what it was.
I feel like, I mean, as far for the women I've spoken to in my life, it definitely kind of be feeling like that. But I don't even know if that's a Caribbean thing. Like, a lot of girls would be beefing with their moms.
To grow your children from young to wake up enslaved, your daughters to wake up enslaved.
But is that a Caribbean thing, or that's just like a first child syndrome thing? Now, like,
I'm not a first child.
What child are you?
I'm a middle on both sides, father's side and mother's side.
Damn.
But I'm the only girl on my father's side, and the third girl on my mother's.
Yeah, because I be feeling like that little first child syndrome when they gotta like raise their brothers and sisters, and they be like, I don't know.
That's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing.
That's just irresponsible parents, but I guess that's another topic for another time.
But even though your household wasn't really Caribbean, like you would say, do you agree that some people, people get abused, or you feel like it's just regular discipline?
It depends. Like, I know for me personally, right? Like, I'll never forget this story. I was in 5th grade, right? And I got a note sent home from my teacher. I don't know why that note got sent home. I forgot. Like, but I just felt like it was nonsense. And then I remember my dad waited a whole week. Now, mind y'all, my dad is not Caribbean. My dad is from down south. You feel me? He waited a whole week. So every day's going by. I'm used to, you do something wrong, you get beat that day right at that time. And I waited, and I deadass thought I was valid. Time went by, bro. One Friday morning, I came out the shower, bro, belt in hand. Yeah, you wanted to get that note sent home, huh? Violated me, bro. Fresh out the shower, so I'm over there blocking with one hand, trying to like make sure that the belt don't hit me. But I'm saying, I'm trying to keep my towel up. Violated me, bro. Violated me. And then for the rest of my brothers, it was the same thing. Like, obviously, you do that. You know how black people be. You be in the store, you know, you be like, Dad, I want this. Put that down. Like, yeah, scratch their lips. Like, it be the same regular, like, discipline. If we didn't bug out, my parents obviously not going to hit us. But 9 times out of 10, we was wilding. We was definitely wilding.
I don't know. I feel like, for me, the reason why I say I feel like Caribbean households kind of have abuse, in my opinion, is because when you really break it down, it's a lot of verbal abuse, if you really talk about it. All the cussing they give their children, and then the beatings on top of that, and then the slaving you have to do. Nowadays, and at this time of year, like, you know, in our generation, that would be considered abuse. Back then, obviously, they felt like it was just discipline.
Do you personally believe it's abuse, or do you just feel like our generation is sensitive?
Definitely, we all have trauma because of that. They don't want to admit it, but that's what it was.
So, what trauma you feel like your parents probably passed down to you?
I mean, I'm effed up in the head a little bit. It kind of affected my parenting because they were so harsh with me. I'm so lenient with my own daughters, and it kind of affected how my children are. Because I was so lenient with my daughters is bad as hell. I'm now trying to learn how to actually discipline them and that gentle parenting stuff with them.
See, now if your mom would have put you to the side and say, all right, that would have been, they would have be like that if you gave them that
I'm learning. I don't beat my kids. I mean, at some point, that's what I was taught, so that's what I was doing. But after a while, I had to learn that's not what happens. And then, you know, fortunately, I have a boyfriend that kind of helps guide me as well when it comes on the parenting. So I don't do the beating anymore. We kind of do like a little chart and have them follow the rules and things like that, and reward and discipline like that.
So in my small experience, like my niece is in the same boat. My sister is the same way. Oh, I don't believe in beating my child. She only has one child. Mm-hmm. Grew up bad as hell. She was one of those. I gotta send you away in the summertime type ish to make sure like
you gotta learn how to go around that. Like I had to and it's true. Like I thought at first, like I said, beating is what I thought I had to do. That doesn't work because then children get used to the beating. So then what?
But I feel like, that normally they get used to it when they get older. If you got a kid that's young that's already used to beating, that's a little crazy. And why they pain tolerance so high at like
all
7?
The time. I got beat all the time, and I end up pregnant at 18. That when you're too strict with a child, it makes them be sneaky. So you got to learn a balance. Maybe
I ain't get beat hard enough. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I'm a product of what happens when you don't loosen the reins. I'm a product of that. So
bro, I'm trying to learn a balance. As a kid, I was not with the antics. I remember when I moved, all my brothers make sure, that paddle bat is not coming with us. It's getting lost somewhere. Like, it's not a game, bro. Okay, well, broken brooms, I'm not with none of that, bro. Anything your parents can get a hand of is a tool to get beat with. I'm glad I wasn't one of those kids talking about go get the Switch, because I was never gonna go get it. I swear to God, I would have ran home.
Well, in my household, my grandmother used to mess around and not feed my behind if I didn't behave myself. So that's how it was in my household.
Are you like first generation or your parents? No. So what generation are you for living in America now?
In my family?
Yeah.
I'm in third.
Third is crazy. Third is super crazy. Yeah, we definitely first. Well, at least obviously after my mom. My dad's obviously always been here. So growing up in New York, man, give us your take.
Ghetto. Fight for your life. Gotta fight for your life.
Real ghetto. You think the Bronx is the best borough?
I fought every day. All day. If you look too cute, you gotta fight. If you got nice things, you gotta fight. Your hair's too nice, you gotta fight. You play a sport, your team win, you gotta fight. All I did was fight.
So you just think it's like real hater energy?
Very much so. Right. New Yorkers are the biggest haters, and I cannot wait to leave New York because of that. Biggest haters. You cannot thrive without somebody trying to stab you in the back at the same time.
No, that's a fact. I don't know. It's just I made a video on TikTok about it. I mean, New York is just I'm trying to find the words because I don't want to be, too vulgar here, but it's just
what they say, crabs in a barrel?
Yeah.
That's it. That's it right there.
It shouldn't have to take for somebody else to like co-sign you or like put a stamp on you for other people to follow. Like, that's why I will never understand New York. But then again, people be like, oh, that's like that everywhere. But I don't feel like it is.
I just find it crazy how when you're from New York and you're trying to promote whatever brand you're trying to promote or whatever business you're trying to promote, everybody's looking at you crazy. But when you pop off, everybody's like, I remember her. I remember him. I went to school with him. And everybody all of a sudden knows you now after you bust off. But while you were trying to make it up there, everybody's just like, this cornball, look what they doing.
That's what I'm saying. There's always support black business when it's convenient or support black this when it's convenient.
Exactly.
But then again, at the same time, just because it's black don't mean I'm about to spend an arm and a leg on something very minuscule.
Let's talk about black businesses. Let's talk about that real fast. How unprofessional our people are, but want us to support them.
Nah, that's a fact.
I've had my fair share of unprofessionalism with a
You're
lot
not about
of
to go like, shout out to the clothing people out there. I love y'all to death and I try to support. But at the same time, you're not about to go buy like 10 hoodies in bulk from H&M. go print something in your crib, and then you about to charge me $100 talking about, you see, bro, that's crazy. You don't support black men. Like, bro, come on, bro.
My issue are with the people in the cosmetology area, the nail techs and the hairstylists working out of their living room, trying to charge me late fees and you 20 minutes late and don't want to take no money off. That is what I can't get with. And I'd be ready to, one time this girl was supposed to get my nails done, and I believe I had got the time wrong. Like, I think my appointment was for 12:30 and I thought it was for 12:45. So I came a little late. I didn't know. She ends up telling me, if you're not here in the next 5 minutes, I'm canceling your appointment. I get there literally like a minute off from the 5 minutes. She goes, I'm canceling your appointment. Mind you, I only got in front of the building. She didn't release the actual like apartment number. They don't release you anything until you're in front of the door. And then straight cancel my appointment. And took the deposit on top of that.
That's why I feel bad for like women. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, like y'all definitely like the standard of like y'all expenses to look the way y'all look is crazy to me.
That's
like
what's important
an
to
install
learn.
being like $350 or like even box braids being like the cheapest thing a girl could do for themselves, and that is like $180 in price range is insane.
That's why I think it's important for women to learn how to do things on their own. Because, like I said, them stupid behind late fees are ridiculous.
Even though I ain't gonna lie, to sit there and say like, because I've known girls in the past that be like, yo, like my nails cost like $100 just from like my hands alone. I'll be like, that's a little crazy, bro.
It's
like,
true.
I mean, I'm a regular tax-paying citizen. You know, I consider myself a nice middle-class young black brother. You feel me? But I can't be affording like the lifestyle that some girls are trying to have. I don't know I mean, they got it maintained via themselves or by another man in the past. So I can't do it. I can't afford it. That's crazy. $100 for some nails is crazy. $350 for an install that you probably gonna take out in 4 days because some girls just hate their hairstyles and they like changing every few minutes. Bro, that's crazy. I can't do it, bro. I can't.
I'll say this, and I know I'm gonna get like a lot of people gonna say I'm a lot of pick me energy from me, but I think it's funny that from my experience of seeing, a lot of women expect a man to pay all those expenses and live at home with their mama. Got a car.
Yeah, that's definitely
got a minimum wage paying job. And be mad when a man don't want to provide them $3 for them to get their hair, nails, and feet done.
Nah, let's really talk about it. Now I gotta get on my back because I ain't gonna lie. Let's really talk about it, bro. My biggest problem right now in the dating scene is like don't ask for what you can do for yourself.
Exactly.
Period. Like it kind of goes back to the same like example of like a group dinner, right? You go out with your friends, you might get a burger and fries all the time y'all go out. It becomes a group dinner. Now all of a sudden you want to get, filet mignon or some type of
lobster tail.
Yeah, lobster tail. Like you wouldn't go order that if you was by yourself or you knew you had to go pay this bill. So why today you feel like I want lamb chop ass mood? Like you was never a lamb chop person, bro. Stay in your chicken tender lane. Like
I would say this because, for example, when I go out with my family and we go out as a group, we usually just split it no matter what somebody gets. That's just us. I just feel like if you have that kind of mindset when it comes to group dinners, you should maybe sit it out. Because I hate when you go on a group dinner and that one person is like, I only had water and a biscuit. Then why did you come? You're going with the group. That's this kind of like the unspoken rule. Like you're going to split the bill evenly with everybody just to save the whole argument.
Yeah. I'm them. Don't invite me to don't invite. I don't go to no group dinners no more because I'm like
exactly. You know your place. Don't go to no
and
group
then mind
dinners.
you, like I'm not a drinker. You feel me? Like if I drink, it is very 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 rare, right? So like 9 times out of 10, being in your adult life, the bill be high because of drinks. Now if our dad came and got me some wings and that's it, I'm not about to pay an $80 bill when I didn't order all this extra food and all these extra drinks. It's a dub, bro.
To make it fair, when you go to a group dinner, sit at the bar by yourself and then join the group when you're done.
But that's what I'm saying. Listen, I know what type of person I am. I'll be telling people now. So I'm like, don't invite me. But some people are going to take you as your fake, it's my birthday. You didn't want to come celebrate me. It's not that I don't want to come celebrate with you. But I'm not about to overly like pay for something I know I'm not going to like enjoy myself in. And I know it's not about me because technically your birthday. But it's like, figure out something else to go do then. Go to, I don't know, do a
Speaking of birthday, now that you started talking about birthday dinners, do you feel like a person that you're close with not coming to your birthday dinner warrants the ending of your friendship?
I mean, I'm a guy, so I don't think so.
I think so. I think so.
Because girls definitely take their birthdays a lot more serious.
The reason why I take it serious because realistically, in most friend groups, you rarely get to see each other already. You rarely speak because everybody got their own lives. They got their kids. They got to work. They got to do X, Y, Z. If I say to you maybe 2-3 months in advance, yo, my birthday is in 2 months. You want to link up with me? And then you agree and then you don't show up. To me, it's like a slap in the face because we already don't really communicate like that. And you can't take a little bit of time out of your day to come to my dinner real fast.
So how many birthdays does it take for you to be like, all right, they're dub? Like that's a one and done thing, or it has to be like
if their excuse is enough, if their excuse makes sense. If you're sick with COVID, maybe in the hospital, your child is sick, I'll give you a pass. But if it's something where it's just like, I'm just not feeling it, No, that's not as much as and I'm also the type of person that if it's like a thing where my friend doesn't have money, I'll pay their way 9 times out of 10. That's the type of person I am. So it's like, I'll pay your way and you really still don't want to come? You really just don't fuck with me like that for real.
Yeah, that's crazy. But women are way more strict when it comes to their friend group. Like the whole like thing of girls go on trips and they come back and they're not friends no more.
But you know what it comes from? It comes from the fact that when it comes to women and their man, they'll go above and beyond for their man. But for their friend, they have all these excuses why they can't do something for their friend. That's the problem.
My man, you know?
I mean, I'm like that too. But I'm there for my friends too. I try to be even and do it for both my man and my friends.
So at what point do you believe a woman should kind of prioritize her man over her relationship? I mean, her friendship?
I don't think it should be a conversation. It shouldn't. Your man is here. Your friends is here. You should never combine it.
But all right, so when it comes back down to like certain activities going on, like, I don't know, maybe your homegirl want to go somewhere, but your man's got plans. Like, what are you gonna tell her? I'm going out with my man, or like how do you navigate those? It depends on who asks
first. It depends on who asks first. If my man asks me first, and then they ask me after, I'll let them know. Like, unfortunately, we gonna have to reschedule because he wants to go somewhere. But if my friends and I already made plans, and then he says to me, "Oh, I want to take you somewhere in this last minute," I would have to let him know, like, I'm sorry, my bad. Can we reschedule? Because they asked me out first. That's how I do it. I think that's the only fair thing. You got to prioritize both.
Yeah, I feel like it's mad immature for you to be like somebody's friend and then they get in a relationship and you start being the I was here first person. Because at the end of the day, I mean, especially if they take that person seriously, it doesn't be like their life partner potentially. It's like they are going to surpass you in importance somehow. This is potentially the person they're going to marry, the person they might have kids with. Like,
but you don't want to ruin your friendships either, because God forbid if anything could happen. God forbid you and that person don't work out. God forbid, and you done cut off all your friends. Now you by yourself. You don't have nobody. Then when you gonna run back to your friends like, my bad, girl. Me and him didn't work out. It's like, no, you got to learn to prioritize both. You got to give both of them enough time.
I don't know, man. There's some weirdos out there, bro. I done been had my fair share of, I was here first.
But now that now that we're talking about friendships and relationships, do you feel like women should stop talking to a friend of theirs if their man doesn't like the friend?
Absolutely. Not to be on some controlling ish, but 9 times out of 10, your man probably knows what's best for you, or he sees what you obviously don't. So if, like me personally, if I'm telling you, I don't think you should be talking to shorty no more because X, Y, and Z, or even if it's a guy friend, I don't think you should be talking to this guy because X, Y, and Z. There's a reason behind it. Me personally, I'm gonna give you that reason too if you want to know. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I feel like bro was on but 9 times you got, your shorty gonna be like, oh, I don't see that. He's not like that. Look at them liking that.
But do you think it's enough to, like, if you tell your girl like, yo, I'm not really rocking with you being friends with this woman anymore, do you think it's enough for y'all to break up?
It depends, but for me, for my personal life, oh yeah, it's a dub now, because like, bro, I shoot 1,000% from the field. If I feel like something's going on, 9 times out of 10 is going on. Maybe it's the Libra in me, I don't know, but
we are intuitive. We do.
100% from the field. I swear I'm Steph Curry with this, bro. If I feel like something's going on, it's happening. And I'm tired of girls telling me, I would never do that to you. Look at you.
Okay,
never.
Okay, so if that's the case, is it the same energy if your girl tells you she doesn't want you to be friends with a certain friend anymore? What if you've been friends with that friend for years, like childhood? Would you just cut him off?
I mean, it depends. It depends. It really, like I said.
That's a double standard. You just said your girl got to cut the girl off because you see something. What if she sees something in that friendship?
That's what I'm saying. It all matters on the explanation you give, right? Like, I'm not gonna obviously be like, yo, this is your homegirl from 4th grade or whatever. Y'all been to get friends for however many years, and then I pull up on scene like, yeah, nah, y'all gotta stop being friends. Like, no, I'm gonna give you the reasons or the receipts as to why I feel like this girl shouldn't be a friend no more. And me personally, I don't even believe it's the friend, like, cut off the whole friendship. I always just say like it gotta like wind down,
boundaries,
or yeah, like
that's
there's just
fair.
Boundaries gotta be set in place, because I be feeling like they be violating sometimes. And like I said, I don't know. Some girls just be like, oh, I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm like, maybe it's not for you to see.
I'll admit that we're kind of hard to get through to. I'm not going to lie. We're very hard to get through to when we in because there's so many factors, our hormones, our emotions.
The red flags be looking like Six Flags. I say that all the time. I fell victim to it. But like, that's really what it be. But as far as like friend groups, yeah, nah. Like I said, sometimes friends don't even care for your best interest. They gonna let you wild out just for the fact that like that's my friend, right or wrong. And I feel like those are the worst friends. Like if your friend can't hold you accountable to the nonsense that you're doing, that is not your real friend.
That's definitely something my boyfriend said to me recently. Like he feels like in my friend group, we don't hold each other accountable. Now, it's not that we don't hold each other accountable. It's just that we're all grown. Like, I feel like, what am I going to say to my friend? Like, if she's doing something, like, of course, if she's putting herself in harm's way, in being an abusive situation or harming herself or her children, of course I'm going to say something. But if she's doing something that really doesn't harm her in any way, is it wrong for me not to say anything and just mind my business? Unless she comes to me? Is that wrong?
I don't know. In my like adulthood, who you surround yourself with definitely like says a lot about your character. Like, I'm not about to stand here and be like, oh, you're just the diamond in the rough. Like, you hang around a bunch of, I don't even want to say the H word, a bunch of treaches in a sense, right? You hang around a bunch of treaches, but you're just the only wholesome none in the group. No, I'm not jacking that, because what do you guys have in common that you want to be around these kind of people?
Maybe it could be that maybe I had a crazy past and the friend is still around after that and I changed my life around, but they still like that. Could be that. Exactly.
But now let's compare this to real life, right? So you could be, like I said, group full of treaches, right? You the girl that finally get in a relationship now. Your friends are still out there outside every day. So how are you going to navigate that space when you got a my man at home, but they want you to come outside because there's men in the club popping bottles. Yo, I'm trying to be outside. I'm trying to see what it is that. You feel me? Like, how do you navigate that space as being a girl in a relationship?
I mean, when you put it that way, that doesn't make sense. I didn't even think about it like that.
That part.
But the whole accountability thing is what we're talking about too. And is it wrong? Like, for my friends and I just mind our business.
I don't know. It's the business you minding, bro. like how much skeletons you gonna keep in that closet for your friend? Let's really talk about it. No, it's
not like we're okay. Like I said, if, for example, in my friend group, our rule is if one of us end up being a crackhead, do something like end up being a treesh, doing something crazy to their husband or something, then of course I'm gonna step in like, all right, girl, you're doing too much. But if it's something where she's still good paying her bills, she's still all right, I'm on my business.
Yeah, I mean, in that regard, I guess I would too. Like, but it's just, I'm always stand on that, to be on the like, who you have in your friend group says a lot about you. Like, me personally, and I don't hang around men that cheat on a girl. At least as far as I know. Now, if they doing it and I don't know.
Black men don't cheat.
Black men don't cheat. You feel me? I don't hang around no guy that cheat on a girl. Because me personally, I don't believe in that. Like, if you want to sit there and do your dance outside, then just be single.
All right, so if a friend comes to you and say they cheated on a girl yesterday, you cut him off tomorrow?
Listen, bro, I'm like, yo, bro, you gotta go. I'm not gonna rat on you, obviously, because that's just bro code. But like, bro, I'm gonna tell you, no, that's not valid, bro. That's not valid. Especially when you gonna bring your homegirl around us. Like, if I'm cool now with your girl, like we kind of got a rapport, and now you gonna sit there and be like, nah, bro, I just want to.
I'm not gonna lie. When you say that, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like women don't hold their friends accountable when they do that. Like, if you said that's you and you tell your friend not to cheat and things like that, with us, we kind of just, like I said, mind our business.
Yeah, be cheerleading.
I don't condone cheating. Like, I don't think it's cool. But, girl, do you want to be stupid enough to do that and get caught up? Do your thing, but don't mix me.
That's something, man. I don't know. These girls is crazy, man. You know. Back to the matter at hand, though, because you know me, I got to double back in my bag. Listen, like I said, girls be over there. That's my man, twice their age. Friend me in the background talking about that's my man. Like, what you mean, bro?
Listen, let's go over that a little bit, because you know that situation. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about if you how I'm gonna put this. Is it wrong, right? If, let's say you have a group of 3, a friend, you and 2 other people in a group. One of the people in the group start doing some wild stuff, start wilding, and you want to hold them accountable. And when you go to hold the person accountable, they kind of basically be on something, I'm cutting you off now, I don't want to talk to you. And now the last person left is just now you and the other person. Is it wrong if you cut off that person too, because instead of them holding that person accountable, they remain friends with them and just support whatever they do?
Of course not. But then again, I'm a little biased. You feel me? But no, I mean, I definitely support that, because like I said, who you surround yourself matters. Like, so for you to be that friend, like, once again, what makes you want to be with the friend that's wilding out? Like, what do you see in that person that you like, I want to continue being friends with them? Despite that they're bugging or they might potentially be ruining someone else's life, you don't care. Or is it just the naivety that you're like, oh, she may be doing this to somebody else, but it's never going to happen to me, until you become that person. And then that's when you want to spin the block to maybe said friend and be like, oh, friend, I see what you're talking about now. It's too late now. Because when I try to point these things out to you, when these things were happening in real time, you wasn't trying to jack it. And now all of a sudden, when it starts happening to you, now you want to be all inclusive with your friend again and be like, oh yeah, that girl was bugging and I should have seen. No.
Yeah, like as you know, that situation happened recently, and I'm not gonna lie, I brought it up to my nail tech, oddly, the situation, and I was like, I have a girl that I was friends with, and she tried to violate a guy friend of mine and try to basically ruin his life with false allegations, and it got crazy. And the mutual friend between us, all three of us, like she ended up saying like, I'm gonna stay out of it. I still want to remain friends with her. And because of that, I had to cut her off. Because I feel like if you could support her doing these harsh things, these messed up things, and we know it's messed up, and you could still be friends with her, now I'm looking at you funny too, because you're supporting it. Like, are we, like, that's when the accountability thing comes up. Like, I'm trying to hold, like, are we not gonna hold that person accountable for what they doing wrong, and you know it's wrong, and they know it's wrong? So my nail tech was basically trying to tell me like I was being petty. Like, you should have never cut her off. You could have still been friends with her, and she could have still been friends with the other girl, and y'all could have still been cool. But it's like, how can we? Because now I'm looking at you funny. So how can we be friends?
Like I said, to be announced on a later date, but to the severity of that situation, that's not something that you can just simply brush to the side. Like, that's not something little like, oh, we got an argument on a basketball court, we're not friends anymore. This is not something little of that nature. Like, this could have potentially ruined somebody's entire career, entire life, and you still standing with this person, knowing that they dead wrong. Like, you can't sit there and be on the phone with you talking about, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, such and such is bugging, and she shouldn't be doing this. But then you go check Instagram, and they outside, shaking their butt on somebody's couch. Like, that's not. But I'm not gonna lie.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, what kind of helped me, what made me hold on to that friendship still was that I created this idea in my head that person was more like me than they were of the other person. I had to realize that the reason that she still wants to be friends with her is because she's more like her than she is of me. She probably doesn't have the same values and respect for herself that I have for myself. So she's okay with being friends with a person that will potentially ruin somebody's life off of a lie. Whereas with me, I'm not cool with that. So I had to understand and accept that and realize that maybe they're better off just continuing to be friends and I should just step aside.
I'm saying, bro, a lot of girls, birds of a feather flock together, and I'm standing for it forever.
That's true.
And I remember I used to have that conversation with said girl. She used to be like, oh, my friend is not a tree. I'm like, bro, she definitely a tree. But she was like a Catholic school tree in a sense. Like, you know what they used to
say about,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, because she wear a uniform, she don't get down like that. Like, no, she very much do. She just in a skirt, you feel me? It don't present itself like that. But she's outside wilding just like anybody else. Bro, and like I said, but listen, now that men definitely see it way before they do. But then like I said, maybe Shorty didn't see it because she was one of those. That's true. Y'all just don't see yourselves in your friends because I don't know what it is. But I'm like, from the outside looking in, birds of a feather flock together.
Well, let's start talking about friends a little further. I have a question. How you feel about friendship breakups? You feel like it's as intense as a breakup with a girlfriend? No homo?
I mean, I don't think I've really experienced friendship breakups like that in my life. So for me, I'm going to say no. But personally, I mean, it just all depends on what it is. Like, if somebody did some like super foul, like I've had a man one time steal bread from me.
What?
That's wild to me. And that's why like we stopped being cool for a good portion of the time. Cause it's like, yo, bro, like one, if you my mans and you really, really need it, you could have asked me.
Exactly.
So for you to even have to resort to that, I don't know how desperate you were for that bread, but it's like, bro, that's a little crazy. And then two, just like, yeah, my man's is like, at least as a guy, it ain't much we can really fall out over. It's normally either a girl or it's about some bread. It's normally nothing else, unless you try to get me like lined or hurt in some aspect. Like those are the main two reasons to fall out with a guy, homie. So like,
so do you feel like that friendship where the person stole from you? Did you feel like genuinely hurt? Like, damn, this man stole from me. I gotta cut him off.
Yes and no, because a part of me like fake. Once again, it's like kind of knowing the red flags. Like I've kind of seen said individual move like that in other situations, but now I'm just like, hey, it ain't gonna happen to me until it becomes you. So that's why I'm like, yo, take people for who they are. Like for who people show you they are, believe them. I'm never ever gonna believe the words that come out of somebody's mouth. You gotta show me. I need action 24/11, bro. Like
I think my issue, I've had a lot of friendship breakups. I think my trauma with friendships now caused me to stay away from calling people best friends. Because I feel like every time I've stamped that name on a person and went left, like they got entitled and the situation just completely like obliterated, where I'm like, I can't even do it anymore. And I think for me, my friendship breakups was just as painful because I have kids. So a lot of the times it's like godmothers to my kids. It's like people that has been there when my kids were babies and helped me change diapers. And now I have to cut you off. Like, so for me, it's painful.
Yeah. That's another reason why when we talk about friendships, I'm heavy on the like, it's kind of like the vibe or the rapport that we build. I don't give time you know, as much credit as other people do. Like, oh, I know this person since kindergarten or first grade, so that's why they hold them in a higher regard than somebody that they met in, I don't know, a couple of years ago. Like, I have friends from high school that I hold in way higher regard than people I've known in middle school because in the course of time that we've known each other, they've just showed me more, or they've just been more of a reliant friend or reliable friend. So that's why I'm like, I hold them in a higher regard. All that time really means nothing for real.
I used to hold on to make time differentiate if I want to be if I want to continue to be friends with somebody that's hurting me or not. And I think that's what used to hold me back. Because I'll have a friend that I've had for 10 plus years, and I'm like, but we've been friends for all these years, and I'll ignore the red flags and the way the person's hurting me because of the amount of time we've been friends. So now I had to learn, like, boundaries are boundaries, and you got to just put yourself first no matter what. Because if not, a person will continue to take advantage of you, and you end up holding on to people that is dead weight.
And it is okay to outgrow some of your friends. Like, just because we do not speak does not mean it is beef. Let me say that again.
Oh, yes,
just because we do not speak does not mean it is beef.
Exactly.
People need to understand that. Like, people outgrow each other. Like I said, we're adults now. People got full-time careers. People are going to school for, I don't know, set degrees like medicine and law. Like, people are doing, or just your entrepreneur friends is trying to get their business off the ground, or it's already off the ground and they're that successful that they do not have time for you. It is okay. Or just your friends are the parents. Kids be running around wild. You got to pick kids up from school, after school, go to recitals, do football games, whatever that comes with raising a child. Like, a lot of people in our adult, like, we got a lot going on. So if your friend's not there a lot, or you feel like y'all don't speak a lot, like I said, the once or twice a year, probably on birthdays, maybe send a Merry Christmas every now and then. Like, that is okay. Just because we do not speak does not mean it is beef. Because when I see you again, it's all love. I'm going to dap you. I'm going to still treat you like you my mans for real. But don't take it personal of like, oh, 3 months went by, I ain't hear from him, or 3 months by, I ain't hear from her. Like,
exactly,
it's life. I be blinking my eyes and the month is done. I just felt like March started yesterday.
Another thing I want to talk about too is friends that be low-key haters.
Talk about it.
That is so annoying. And what bothers me is that when those friends are called out for being that way, they gaslight you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's those friends that throw the, like, they do the digs where it's like, them sneakers is ugly as hell. Like, okay, like, why are you saying that? Like, why are you being weird?
So how do you identify a hater in the friend group?
In my experience, it's always the person, like I said, that says a little backhanded compliments. Like, instead of them saying your shoes are beautiful, they're like, them shoes big as hell on your feet. Like, where you got them from? Like, or so I had an experience recently with a friend, and it was real weird because in general, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, from high school, I feel like it was a lot of red flags in our friendship that I overlooked. But now that I'm older and I'm learning about boundaries, I had to be like, you know what? It's about time I head out. Like, she used to always say little things like, why you doing that? Like, why you don't get a new man? Why you don't do this? Why you don't do that? Little weird stuff like that. And I used to be like, you good? Like, what's good with you? Yeah,
I'm not even a girl, but I feel like that's immediately on some like hater-ish. Like, why you always in a relationship? Why you always got a man?
Yes,
you can't be by yourself?
Exactly.
Like, are you mad because you don't got a man? Like, why you worried about my man? Pause. No Diddy, but like,
that's a fact.
But that's a little crazy. I'm saying no Diddy.
And that's a fact. That's a fact. And sometimes I think what also happens too, because in my experience, what I think the problem was for me was for a very long time I was very insecure. So when I would get attention from men, and those particular women that would be low-key haters will be around, they're like, I don't even know why he looking at you. Like, because it's like I was kind of like closed off and just like not really talking to the men. And they're like, why they keep coming to you? Like, you're not even like having fun. You just sitting over there in the corner. Like, why they keep coming to you? And it's like, I didn't know who I was. So when I learned who I was, I realized like, you're saying all of this because you peeped that I'm actually somebody. Even though I didn't think about that for myself. And they don't like when you start to get to know yourself and get to love yourself and start to actually see that you're beautiful, see that you're worth something. So when you start to get to that point, they want to try to knock you down by making them little jokes, making you feel like, ayo, look at them shoes, ayo, look at your hair, and make those little comments to try to dumb you down, make you feel little and small so they can have you right where they want you.
This is what I mean by men be seeing it ahead of time. Like, you know how much girls cock block because they just, they're not the it girl? Every girl wants to be the main character, but I promise you, there's a reason. Like, not every girl could be Goku. There's Yamchas and TNs for a reason. Like, be the side character, bro. Like, we need sidekicks. Batman ain't Batman without Robin.
I feel like everyone is the main character of their own life. And people just need to understand that. And I'm the kind of friend, if I'm out with my friends, I stay hyping them up. Like, yo, look at my friend. She look mad cute. She look mad good. Like, that's me. Like, I've always been that girl. So when it's the same, when it's energy supposed to be for me, it's kind of like, Oh my God, like.
And then there's a woman, like, how does that even make you feel? Like, your homegirl speaking for you. Like, if we in a lounge or whatever setting, and I run down on you, I'm like, yo, let me get your name. My friend don't want to talk to you. I'm sorry, your friend don't got a mouth?
That's true.
She not grown?
That's true.
Like, that's crazy to me, bro. Like,
not
let her
me.
speak for herself.
I'm always been the one. And I think also I found myself in a lot of situations where if my friend is kind of shy and I go up to a man like, yo, my friend, I'm always that one that's like, yo, my friend been looking at you all night. Like, you like her? Funny enough, the guy would turn to me like, well, shoot, I like you. And it's because the confidence of me just going up to them and not being afraid to say something. And then the friend will get mad at me as if I did something wrong. Like, why you went over there? Now he wants you. I didn't do that. I didn't mean to. I was trying to help you out. It just so happened that it fell in my lap.
Shoot or
like,
shoot. All right?
It's not my fault.
Shoot or shoot. Curry ain't become the leading shooter without, I mean, it's 1,000 threes a day.
Exactly.
Some of them goals come down.
That's happened plenty of times to me as well. Like, but I also think that I've noticed, I mean, you could tell me if I'm wrong. Like, I've noticed that men kind of like the humble one in the group, the one that's kind of chilling on the side and doing her own thing.
Do personally, like, because it just like, you could tell what girls be doing too much. Like, you could tell the girls that just became a baddie yesterday. Like, you was not a baddie your whole life. You feel me? Like, it just happened a year ago. I don't know. Like, maybe you just grew a little butt because you dropped the baby or whatever. Maybe you just got your BBL. You fresh off surgery. Eyes time to pop out. Summertime. Like, you could tell you just started attracting this attention now, as opposed to the girls that are like, I've been that my whole life. Like,
but then, like I said, it'd be some that are like, for example, like me, that don't really know who you are till, you know, you realize like, oh wait, I'm actually a little cute. I actually got a little something.
Some girls are late bloomers.
That's true.
Super late bloomers. Like, yeah, I don't know. For women, it just be. Yeah,
I think the haters for men, honestly, be the ones that kind of like when a guy comes up with a plan, like, yo, I'm about to go open up a barbershop, and a friend will be like, bro, you don't even know how to cook for real. Like, what you mean you about to open up a barbershop? Like, get out of here, man. Like, it's like, those be the haters for men. Like, men don't like to see their friend doing something with themselves. It's like, stand on the corner with me. Let's do this. Let's smoke on the corner together.
Like I said, I feel like,
how dare you go to school?
When it comes to men, it always circles around the two things. It's always women and money. Like, that whole big bro, you want to big bro me now because I get bread, or you want to big bro me now because you see my card. Don't big bro me. And I'm the type of guy, I've always extended every opportunity that I've had. Like, there's plenty of times if I'm in the studio with, yo, if I can't do this, I'm going to call my mans that can, and I'm going to try to connect 2 and 2. I'm going to put you on this opportunity. Or even for my real life career job that I have, when that opened up, I was like, yo, go apply to this, go do this. So many people in that field didn't even listen to me. Now that I'm about to go to the next stage of my career, he was like, damn, bro, you really about to do that? Yeah. And I put you on and I told you to do it, but you ain't want to listen. And now when you start, you know, getting the rewards of said, you know, choices, people want to be like, I mean, now I'm big bro. Or now it's the hater energy, be like, oh, you think you brand new now, or you think you old. I don't think
it's like, no, you think that.
You think that.
Exactly.
I just live my life, drink my water, mind my business. Like, and now you want to think, I don't think nothing of myself but the man I am. I am who I am, and who I not, I will never be. You feel me? That's it.
That's a fact.
That is it. But yeah, I don't know. Between friendships and relationships, like I said, it's just a fine line between the two, bro. And I just feel like you just gotta just move accordingly. I mean, stay humble, and that's it. Stay prayed up. Ain't much else to really say about that. You feel me?
What's your thoughts on coworkers becoming friends outside of work?
I don't be jagging it.
Really?
Listen, bro. I feel like in my brain, I feel like I just work with snitches. Like, so I'm like, I'm not. And mind you, I don't even be wilding outside of work, but like, I don't know, bro. Something about just coworkers, because you know what it be the day. Like, I have a job where like, if you call out, other people get mandated, right? So people is quick to be on some. Let me go check Instagram and see why he called out. I've watched it happen in real time. Like,
that's some real hater energy.
He called out sick. He's on a ski trip right now. Like, I've seen them do it, bro. So I'm like, I'm not adding none of y'all. I mean,
my job is the same. But, you know, I used to have that thought process too, where I used to go to work and be like, I'm going to work and I'm going home. I'm not making friends. But funny enough, I have 2 close friends from work. Shout out Kim. Shout out Jess. Hey. Like, and they're great friends. And I feel like they're there for me a lot of times more than people that I've been friends with for a minute.
I feel like there's a work etiquette. Like, I feel like, yo, if you're going to call out, just text me and let me know. I got to mentally prepare myself to work that extra shit.
I mean, that's true, because that's kind of how we are. That's true, because we have like a little group chat. Like, if I take VTO or if I take time off, I might text them like, yo, I'm not coming in today, just to give them a heads up. So that's true, because in my job, you get mandated as well. So if you at the bottom, you get stuck most of the time. So I'll give them a little heads up. Yeah, just that's all I care about. Give me the heads up, because it be the days where like, bro, 2 hours before you about to go home, you know, tour about to change. Yeah, you got to stay in the morning. I got to do what?
Like, bro, are you serious?
But I think you can make great friends from work. You can, because think about it. You at work more than you at home.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor for me.
So,
I'm at work 7 days
but I
a week.
definitely understand you being careful with who you make friends with outside of work.
Yeah, all my friends from work, like, I have hung out with them on some, like, we went out all together, on some Dave and Buster's-ish. But, like, as far as, like, making that a regular occurrence, like, nah, I don't do that. Because even from past jobs, 9 times out of 10 when we became, like, close friends, it's because they quit first or I quit. And, like I said, we just keep up like that. But, I mean, as far as I might go with adding you on the gram, but that's what close friends is for, too. Because even then, I might add you on the gram, but you're not in the close friends. So you're not really about to see what I got going on for real. Like.
But I think, like, for me, I think that when you get older is when you learn your real friends. So that's why I think, like, if you gain friends from work and things like that, those going to be your friends for life type shit. It's the people, you ever notice you kind of like let go of those people from your past and people you grew up with, and it's the people when you evolve and you become who you really want to be is when you actually have those friends you're going to have for life.
Adulthood is realizing a lot of your day ones might be stagnant in life. Mm-hmm. And that shit is like, it's kind of heartbreaking to see because it's like, damn, bro, like I wanted to get to like, I want to level up with my homies. Like nobody want to sit there and be a millionaire by himself. You feel me? Like what good is it having all the money when you have nobody to break bread with? Like to just be like up but alone is crazy to me. Yeah, I don't understand how anybody want to live like that. But unfortunately, that's
sometimes what you have to do first. You got to think about yourself first. You got to put yourself first. The only way, like you have to set boundaries and things of that nature. I had to go to therapy to learn that. Because I was such a people pleaser. I wanted to hold on to all my childhood friends, everybody, no matter what, even though they were holding me back in some ways and things like that. I wanted to hold on to them. I had to learn boundaries. And people that will be there for you and that really want to be in your life will respect the boundaries you start to create for yourself. And the ones that don't will drop like flies.
That part. Yeah, I definitely had to realize boundaries is a very important thing in friendships. It's just setting the tone, you feel me? Like, it's just... All right, this is what I stand on. These are my principles, my morals. I'm not jacking such, and such. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you this one time, maybe twice out of courtesy. After that, bro, if you start violating said boundaries, bro, it's nothing for us to talk about. Because at our big age, I told you what I'm standing for and what I'm not standing for. Mm. And now you low-key disrespect me in my face if you just not about to jack anything I'm saying. So yeah, I definitely see that. Like, if you definitely start overstepping these boundaries, bro, we can't rock the same way. Like I said, not beef. But we just not about to be cool in the way you expect us to be cool in for real.
Dub. What you think about like friendships and fights? You think you're gonna still be friends? You think you could fight a friend and still be friends with them later?
Of course, I have.
Well, not me.
I have.
I feel like if I fight you, we're not friends no more. That's why I don't fight. My rule is I don't fight my friends. Because I know for me, if we cross that boundary, I'm the type of person, and I know it's bad, I hold grudges. I will fight you every day of your life if I see you. I don't let it go. So I do not want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. So I'd rather just not cross that boundary.
I actually have a guy at my job, that when we first became partners, I hated him, bro. Hated him. Like, we used to get into it or whatever. He used to just be doing, like, funny stuff that I wasn't jacking. One night, things just went severely left. He looked at me, he said, bro, do you want to fight? I said, bro, I am very much like that. Like, what's up? Like, we could park this truck up and really get into it. Like,
so what happened?
You know what I'm saying? We ended up going back or whatever, talked to our supervisor. They separated us for the night.
Wait, hold on. See, I didn't fight?
Nah, we didn't fight, but it almost got there.
So y'all really not like that then?
Listen, I'm definitely one.
Think about it. Nobody would have knew y'all fought. Y'all could have just went in the back real fast, got in a little alley, got it shaking, and
possibly. I don't know. Then again, you walk back into your workplace. One of y'all got a black eye or somebody bleeding. What happened?
Oh, I felt.
I'm saying I look a little crazy. Like
they need to set up freaking. You know how jobs be getting together and doing little picnics and stuff? They need to set up a boxing match. I swear to God, I'm getting it shaking with my boss off rip.
Yeah, like in that day, like I said, we almost got into it. I'm like, yo, bro, like we could really get it, bro. It's not a problem. I bet, whatever.
I definitely have a few coworkers I pull in that ring.
They separated us, and then the next time we came to work, we had a discussion about it or whatever. And that's one of my closest homies now at work. So sometimes,
but that's technically not a fight though.
But it do be taken sometimes to get to that level to be like. For y'all to end up being like real friends. I know plenty of friends.
Because that's when you talk about it. If one of your friends beat your ass, you gonna still be friends with him after? Like, yo, bro, like you really bust my lip yesterday. Like, come on, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I knew a girl in high school that actually said like, I have to fight you for you to be my friend. Because she's like, I don't want you to be
toxic.
Now, hear me out. Because the girl was a fighter girl. Like she was one of the, high school, just the girls that's always in some type of fight. She was a mixed girl. So she's like, I know other girls don't like me, and you're not about to be around me and I get jumped and you about to just stand there. So she's like, yo, if you're going to be my friend, you got to know how to fight. Like, she's like, I shake on every single, like, her friend group. She's like, I fought every single one of these
And now,
girls.
what if all of them jump up bigger?
She's like, you be around me, you got to be able to fight. I mean, I know guys, I used to slide box a lot. Like, I got to see your hands as, like, it's somewhat up to par.
Nah, me in high school, I definitely was a fighter. And it got so bad, my last year of high school, they had a meeting first week with the dean and my parents, like, look, we're not dealing with her this year. You want her to graduate? That's it. We're not doing this year.
I feel like the problem with school, though, that used to always punish, like, both fighter. Like, if somebody punches me in my face first, and then even there's even witnesses, like, I don't know, Miss Kayla in the back there is like, yo, I seen her hit her. Like, why am I getting in trouble?
Now, funny enough for me, I used to strive to be suspended. Like, if I'm gonna fight you, I want to get suspended because I'm gonna be at home chilling, eating my snacks. Like, I didn't care.
Bro, I got suspended one time in high school, bro, and we didn't even have at home suspension. They called it ISS, in school suspension. Bro, that was the worst suspension I've ever been in my life. I'd much rather have been in class that day. And I only got suspended because I told a girl SMD. That's why I got suspended. She was a class president, and I told her SMD,
I never forget
and then
one time
suspended.
I got suspended for fighting this dyke in my school. I got suspended for that. And the same day I was suspended, a big brawl happened at my school, and I was tight. I wasn't there. And my mom was like, "This the damn problem with you now. Like, you mad because you can't be there for a brawl?" I'm like, "My friends is in there fighting without me." She's like, "You got a problem. Like, stop. Like, what's wrong with you?"
That's mad funny.
Nah, but if I fighting in school, no lie got dangerous to me. I don't even know why I continued to even fight after this, but I never forget it was me and this little boy in my science class. I even remember his name. I ain't gonna say his name, but he threw a book at me, and I always take it a step further, and instead of me throwing a book back, I pick up a chair. I threw the chair, and unfortunately, my teacher got up to stop the fight, and the chair hit her in her knee. The metal chairs, you know, them little mini chairs, and her knee shattered. She had to replace her whole knee. Now, thankfully, she didn't press charges on me. I was only like, I think I was like 12, 13. She didn't press charges, but it's like, I got suspended for like a whole week. You think I changed after that?
Is crazy.
They put me in anger management. You know, that was about it. I still was fighting. She should have pressed charges looking back, because I would have got some real help. Because the anger management was like the regular counselor in my school. Like, so what do you like to do? And I was like, draw. He was like, so next time you get angry, just draw a picture. I was like, I'm going to stab somebody.
If you want to wild out, the best time to do it is your juvenile years, you know? Get all that sealed at 18. You know,
but no, thank God she didn't. I didn't get. She could have pressed charges on me, but she didn't.
Bro, throwing chairs in class is crazy.
He threw a book at me.
Even though I've seen that happen more times than not.
And then, you know what's funny? In the moment when it happened, when she was like screaming in pain because of her knee, I was like, but why'd you get up to try to move? She was like, I was trying to stop you from fighting. I'm like, but why would you get up? Like, no lie, her getting up when I threw the chair probably saved him, because when he was on the ground, and the chair probably would have hit him in the face. So I would have been in worse trouble had he gotten hit in the face with the chair.
I don't know. School's a different bag. Like, I remember when my transition from going from the Catholic school to public school is like, that is definitely two different culture shocks. I'm not gonna lie. It is super duper different.
How was Catholic school?
I mean, I was in a Catholic school full of white people and like Puerto Ricans. There was only like 4 black people in my class to count on one. Like, you could literally count us all on one hand. I think it was like 4 boys, 1 guy. No, 4. That's not 4. Well, that's crazy. 4 boys and like 1 girl or 2 girls or whatever. And I felt like low key that school was definitely more strict on black people than anybody else. But that's neither here nor there. But going to public school. Like, I remember any day we had a substitute teacher, Frank stands, throwing it every day. What? You're not even a real teacher. Violating, bro, for no reason. Like, and then on top of that, too, obviously the fights that happen out of nowhere. 2 things. You'll stop playing with me, bro. Throw 1 pen. Now it's up. Chair across the classroom. Like, now you got mad security guard rushing
Speaking of Catholic school, this how you know I was crazy. I remember telling my mother I wanted to go to St. Catherine's in high school because a girl at the time was threatening me. This is my baby father's ex-girlfriend at the time before we had kids. And I was like, Mom, can I go to St. Catherine? She's like, why? I'm like, there's some girl that's messing with me and I want to fight her. Like, or some crazy, like, I was really wild back then. Like, I'm trying to go to Catholic school to fight. I would have got automatically expelled. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that. The money my mother would have spent. And I would have fucking lost her money fighting.
They used to be heavy on that in Catholic school. They used to be like, you get in a fight here, you're expelled. I'm like I said, I ain't asked to get punched in my mouth, but if you think I'm about to just get
So in general, like, even if somebody attacks you, you get in trouble?
That's what they would jack.
That's
like,
crazy.
The one time it did happen to me, like, I got in a situation, somebody pushed me, obviously popped on him. Like, it didn't really go that far. It really was just that. Like, he pushed me dumb hard. My back hit the wall. Swung. Hit him. All right, broke it up. And now we both in the principal's office. I'm like, bro, he pushed me first. Like, what do you expect me to do?
But they expected more of you. You don't, like, 1 out of the 4 black people.
And that's what I'm saying. And this is why, it's crazy. It made like, once again, parenting a little hard, because my mom is like the pacifist type. She's like, Jordan, you know how much money we pay to go to this school? My dad's staying on business. He's like, no, I don't care how much money we pay. If somebody put their hands on you, stand on business.
That's a fact.
So I definitely went that route, standing on business. Like, you're not about to.
But what get me tight with my parents, for example, is like they'll tell me, if somebody hits you, hit them back. And I hit them back and now I'm in trouble. Why am I in trouble? You told me if they hit me, hit them back. It's like parents be trying to act mad fake in front of the teachers. Like, in front of the teachers, how dare you when you get in the house? Like, good shit. Like,
I only had one teacher that was like, she was like very, 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 very much bugging. Like, it was in high school. But I'll never forget, I came to class. I wasn't even late. She literally wouldn't let me in the classroom. A girl came later after me, walked by me. She opened the door. She said, Jordan, take a step back. What you mean take a step back?
That's crazy.
Let me in the class. Like, why you denying my education as a teacher, bro? Like, that's not crazy to you? My parents came. We had to go speak with her and the principal. And my mom even said it. She was like, yeah, this lady's in the land of no return. You know, I wish I could say her name so badly. She got me so tight.
Another thing when it came on to school was I didn't like how teachers would dead lie and our parents would believe them. Is it just me?
Nah, definitely isn't.
I had a teacher bold-faced sit there and lie on me. And I'm like, they're lying. And my parents was like, they have no reason to lie on you. Yeah, he do. Like, what you mean? He don't got no reason. Lie. Like, come on now.
So I feel like some teachers know that your parent is going to beat your ass, and therefore that is why they go and sit there and tell you or tell on you.
I think that they need to do a mental evaluation on some of these teachers. Some of these teachers really be having problems mentally.
Mine definitely need it.
And then they just be letting them become teachers and trying to teach them.
She told us verbatim, I got tenure, so they ain't getting rid of me. Like,
I think the teachers have a union. Does teachers have a union or something?
Yeah. Once they get that little tenure, bro, they're sanctioned. They just, unless you obviously do something super duper outlandish, your job is safe. She dead ass told us, I'm like, well, that's crazy. So you just don't care about none of my education. Like, it was me and one of my mans. He Olympic go run around. She violated him in school. But I mean, it worked out for me. I ended up getting double period gym. It was a vibe. That class was like, yeah, bro. I think that class was like some math class that nobody even wanted to do for it. It was like SAT math or some nonsense like that.
That was when you were in Catholic school or regular public school?
Public, bro. I didn't really have nothing really like crazy happen to me in Catholic school, honestly. Public schools were, like I said, everybody got to it. That's when, you go to school, you got to walk through metal detectors every day. Never had to do that. You got the people that's obviously sneaking weapons into school. Shout out to throw a knife in your boot before you go in.
Knife in your boot.
Get in cafeteria, put it in your pants.
What's crazy is when they used to have metal detectors at my high school, we used to give our phones and stuff to the people at the corner store and pay them like $2 to hold our phones. That's what we used to do.
Shout out to the people that went to the high, but like, and the metal detectors low-key ain't even work. And it wasn't until they started getting a wand that you had to worry. And then even then, they never wand your shoes. They only go from like the knee up. I hope I'm not snitching, but like they do not be wanding.
They don't be caring either.
They do not be wanted for real. I remember I knew a girl in school that she was like, she got whatever the altercation happened in the classroom. I don't even remember what it was for, but one girl said something to her. She got tight. She said, I'm about to pop on you. Blah, blah, blah. Went back and forth. Went right in the nice little tall Ugg boot. Switchblade out. Pushed her.
That's crazy.
Luckily, the girl ain't get cut because they broke it up in time. But I'm like, that's crazy. Like, y'all know the big body Uggs. That's just damn near up to your calf. Like, you could really sneak some junk in there and nobody's gonna know.
Now, what's crazy is in my high school, they made them get metal detectors. It wasn't for long. It was temporary. It was because, remember that brawl I told you about? That big brawl that happened, some boy in my school got cut from his face, like hair to hair in his face. It was like, my school, for some reason, had like 3 schools in one building. So it was like the top floor was like called New World. The middle was ASC. The bottom was BPA. Dude, and New World was full of like pure Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. So it was like black versus Spanish. It was so hilarious. Looking back, it was funny. Not that the guy got cut, but like the fact that they were only fighting just because it was Spanish people versus black people. Literally. That was the fight. There was like no reason to be fighting.
I'm telling you, man, this generation is soft, man. I feel like going to school was low key to trenches, bro. Like a lot could happen on that way to school. A lot could happen when you went to McDonald's after school. Yep, and this is like universally in New York. Like
my daughter's in middle school and they be talking about fights happening in the school. You know what their fights be? Them like that. I'm like, get out my face. Like,
bro, I done seen people get packed up inside of McDonald's, outside the McDonald's,
in the walk to school. The schoolyard was the main part where you fight, or the lunchroom. Like when I get you in lunch, when I get you outside in the schoolyard. Now,
or you see a group of individuals standing outside, like you're watching he walk through these doors. Violate, bro. Like, yeah, it got bad in high school, bro. It got really bad. I ain't gonna lie.
That's a fact.
I stayed out the way. I'm on my business. I'll never forget the one time somebody tried to
AKA you're a punk.
Hell no. I tried to, like I said, I just stayed out the way, but I wasn't a flashy, like, I ain't dressed the best in high school. I didn't have, obviously, mad money. Like, I'll never forget the one time somebody tried to run my pockets. So, yo, bro, what you got? At the time, I was on a reduced lunch in my school, right? So, there was either you get the free lunch or you got to pay a quarter. So, I remember at that time, he's like, yo, what you got in your pockets? I said, bro, I got a quarter and I got an ID. Which one you want, gang?
That's dumb funny.
He was like, all right, bro, you got it. I know I got it. I ain't got nothing for you to take, bro. And if you want this quarter, I might actually give it to you because you clearly need it more than I do. A quarter is crazy.
Speaking of going to school with just a quarter, my mama used to give me $2 a day in high school. They used to get me dumb tight.
Bro, both my brothers used to get $20 a week.
That's crazy.
$20 a week. And when I started going to school, it got magically cut off. I don't know what happened, but yeah, like I said, I had to.
But no lie, my mother only giving me $2 a day is why I know going forward I will give my children allowance. Reason why I'm saying this is because my mother would have actually gave me money. I would have never ended up in a trap where I had a man with money come to me. Like, yo, like, here. That's kind of what happened to me. Like, my mom was giving me $2. This man about to buy me lunch, so I'm going with him. Like,
I don't even know like what would even be a reasonable allowance nowadays. Like, I feel like back then, yeah, $20 a week or $25 a week, $5 a day goes a long way.
I mean,
that's
for me
pizza
now,
after school or McChicken, snack wrap, whatever the case is. With a
can't even do that no more.
Can't do that no more.
Can't even do that no more.
They don't even sell McChickens no more. I don't even think so. Or snack wrap.
And nowadays, these kids is bougie as hell. My daughter's talking about, because now, I have something where we're trying to reward my kids. So we'll give them like money for, we have like a little math book, a little reading book for them to do at home for extra work. We'll charge them like $2 a page or give them money for their chores. And my daughter was like, every time you put money on the board for me, I'm going to save it so I can get a, what is it called? You know the iPads? The pen that goes with it? What's that called? The Apple Pen?
Like a stylus or
something. She want to save all her $20 that she get at the end of the week for a stylus pen. Like, girl. The pens is like $300. You're 10.
I remember when I was in high school and Palladium boots came out and like everyone was kind of buying them. My mom when she used to give me the $20 a week, I saved that for a whole month to buy them boots. And I gave it right back to my mom. I said, I want a new pair of shoes. I've been saving this for 3 weeks. Here you go. And she looked at me like disbelief that I really saved this $20.
You know what's crazy? I tell my daughters all the time, as soon as y'all start working, start saving your money. If my mother would have told me when I started working at McDonald's at 14 to save my bread, you know how much money I have right now?
Yeah, I believe in that whole, like, I've seen posts about it where they'll be like, as a parent, like, make your kids start paying rent, quote unquote, but like, all that money that your kid is giving you once they start working, just put it in a bank account.
Come on now. We'll do that. Our parents, their generation, come on now.
Yeah, and it was like, put it in a bank account, and then when your kid gets to the age of like, yo, they want to buy property, or maybe even at 25 or 30 years old, just give all that money back.
That's
to them.
dope.
Like, use this money to go buy a car or some property. I think that's a really good idea.
That's a great idea for people that will actually do that, because my mom owes me a lot of money for saving, quote unquote, saving my money. I'm saving a little $20. Where is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like
and then when you ask them, how dare you ask me back for that money? You know how much things I did for you? Parents need to understand you chose to have me. I didn't ask to be here. So don't tell me that after everything you did for me, you did what you were supposed to do. Give me my money.
I don't know the demographic of people that's going to listen to this, but yo, anyone that's under 18, don't let your parents freaking try to like make you like a cosigner on a credit or pull a credit card out in your name.
Do not let them open a credit card for you.
Don't do it. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if they say, I'm your dad but I'm your mom. Don't do it. Don't do it, because that is
so I guess that's just a thing that kind of happens in most black households where a parent messes up a child's credit. Or it's just, I hear that a little too often.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. Like, honestly speaking, and that's, it's weird fine line, because like technically speaking, like I remember I had a teacher that said she did that purposely but she didn't mess it up. She obviously went the opposite way. She opened their credit cards and she was like, only spend it on like the little things like Starbucks or, the bacon, egg, and cheese. And that was her way of like responsibly making sure they handle their credit, but start establishing credit at an early age. Some parents, like obviously, because I mean, I don't know the exact numbers now, but like when you first apply for a credit card or when you're first starting your credit journey, you're like already like kind of like high fives or like maybe low 600s or something. And I'm like, bro, your parents will dead open mad credit cards in your name and sit there and run it up. And then that affects you for the long run. Like, that's wild, bro.
That's a fact.
And then as an adult, how you gonna do that to your kid? But that's another topic.
I think parents need to be sued for that. Parents that have done that to their kids definitely need to be sued.
Or at least creditors need to start like acknowledging, like, bro, like that should be like wiped off your history. Like once you hit like 18 or something, they should like wipe that off. Because
I think after 7 years it comes off, right?
Unfortunately, but 7 years is a long time.
That's a very long time
for a lot of things, bro. So I'm like, it comes off after 7 years, like, bro. Like right now, if I want to go buy a house and I got something bad on my credit, to wait 7 years is crazy.
That's true.
I'll be in my mid-30s talking about wait 7 years, bro. That's nuts.
Like that's what for me. I definitely once I learn how to properly build my credit, because it's still confusing me to this day. But when I'm in a higher number and my daughters get older, I'm definitely adding them on to help them. I'm not even gonna be on that type of time where I mess them up.
Yeah, credit lost me when they say like you go charge $1,000, but yeah, you charge your card $1,000, but you supposed to pay like $500 like twice on it before. Like you gotta pay before the statement date. I'm like, bro. If I spent $1,000, just put $1,000, that's not valid. Nah, bro, because it's not showing that you're responsible with your money. Bro, this is why this all for me is just too much.
I'm gonna lie. I think credit is a scam. If you really think about it,
I don't buy nothing I can't afford that's not in my checking account. Cause I'm not, all of that games to play, I'm not doing that.
But you know how we kind of just grazed over parents messing up kids' credit. Let's talk about the fact that parents don't take accountability. When they do crazy stuff like that. Let's talk about it. Parents don't take accountability. Our parents, their generation, they don't take accountability.
Yeah, my pops definitely don't. Shout out my pops. He don't take no accountability.
It's like, I did what I had to do to take care of you. Like, what?
They don't even be for OD serious stuff, though. Like, he'll go out, maybe get a little fender bender, throw on me hoes. I ask you to Mac the V, like, what I gotta do with me? Now I gotta go fix your dent because you can't, I mean, you're not wearing your glasses when you drive. Like, what I gotta do with me, bro?
What this is, you know, kind of goes along with that, but what's your thoughts on breaking generational curses?
That's the goal. That's definitely the goal. Like, I know for me, like, easy generational curse to break is the 6-figure club, right? Like, my parents, not to put too much on my business, but like a lot of our generation, they look at it like, oh, that's a good paying job. You get $80,000, that's a good paying job. Because our parents are used to buying houses and having the cars they have off of salaries like that. Not knowing that, like, today's climate, bro, what house am I buying off of 80 bands a year? Especially in New York. I'm not going to say, like I said, I don't know who else is going to listen to this. You know, you might be in Alabama or Arkansas. I'll be like, what, 80,000 is a great salary. In the state of New York, bro, the average rent is $2,500 for a one bedroom. One bedroom.
Yep.
So what am I doing with 80,000 a year? Now, granted, that salary might be valid if, like, that's the only thing you're paying for, but 9 times 10, you probably want a car. So how are you paying for a car note, your rent, and then every other
And now
expense?
they're trying to add tolls everywhere.
Let's talk about it.
It's over.
$15 to go to the same borough. I leave from 72nd Street to 60th Street, and now I got to pay $15. $18 to go to Jersey. $14 to go to Queens. I really know these tolls. Like, let's talk about it.
And then the trains are so dangerous on top of that. It's like, you can't even take the train no more.
I think as we're recording this, actually, I was just watching the news this morning. Somebody just got pushed on 125th yesterday.
That's crazy.
Got pushed into the train on some random ish, but they keep trying to push everybody to use the train because they're trying to mimic London. Oh, you want to be a state with less cars, you know? We want less people in the boroughs. Like, bro, we buy cars for a reason. Once I buy a car, I'm not hopping on a train. Respectfully, I haven't been on a bus. I haven't been on a train in years. I haven't been on a bus since I bought a vehicle. I've been on a train. But a bus, I have not been on a seat of a bus in years. Since about 2017, I have not been on a bus.
I haven't been on a bus.
Every time I even think about public transportation, like, why am I going on public transportation?
Like,
yeah, like, and my car note mad high. Like, I don't pay this much of my car note to hop on somebody's public transportation. Call me bougie, I don't care, I'm not doing it. All right, listen, when you start driving, you know, bro. You don't.
But what's something different you'll do when you have kids?
I don't know. I gotta like double back on that one because I feel like a lot of the things that my parents did, I do feel like they did, like, I think they made good decisions on. Like I said, when they chose to beat me or how they chose to discipline me, I never seen no problem with that. I think the only problem I did have with my parents is, like, kind of take heed to what your kids are interested in. Like, my parents is stuck on the whole, like, you know, traditional shit. Like, you got to go to college. They don't believe in if you want to be a creative, like a rapper or singer or whatever thing like that. They're like, yo, go to college, get a good job. Or if anything, get a city job. It's always that same, like, formula. Get a pension, you know, it's a good job. Like, but not everybody want to do that for real. Or they just not used to a lifestyle where some people can do both in today's society. I could be a plumber during the day and I'm a rapper at night. That's a fact. Or whatever you want to do. Like I said, for the women, you know, I do wigs when I get home. But in the daytime, I'm a secretary. Like, it's very much easy to multitask. Like, so if you come from a generation of parents where, like I said, they worked one job and that one job was able to buy them everything they needed to get.
They don't understand that. I think something different I want to do, you know, because I'm a mother, is, well, I have implemented it already. I apologize to my kids. I think our parents do not apologize. When they do, it's on their deathbed. I'm so sorry. If you're about to croak and now you want to say sorry, like, come on now. Like, funny enough, I had a conversation with my grandma earlier in the week about her generation and how they don't take accountability. They don't apologize for the things they've done. And she was just like, I will never apologize to any of my kids. And I'm like, why wouldn't you? Like, you don't feel like you did some things to them?
Yeah, in terms of parenting, we got to open up a dialogue. Yeah, actually, now that you said that, probably another thing with me is, like, acknowledge having, like, an open dialogue with your kids, right? Like, it's not always talking back just because they've responded.
Exactly. You know, to advocate for themselves. Like, some people will say, like, with my kids and I have, like, a great relationship where they some people would say they're rude because they just talk their mind. But because of that, my daughters tell me everything. I want to have that relationship with my daughters where they tell me everything where I don't have to find out about it later. Like, you have to give your children the floor to speak up for themselves. Because if you don't do that when they're young, they're not going to do it when they get older. And then they're going to end up in situations where you could have prevented it had you let them talk to you. Like
I said, yeah, it's like, oh, that whole stay in the child's place. Now, granted, obviously not all conversations are meant for kids, but I'm like, sometimes even if kids are in the vicinity, as an adult, you shouldn't be having that conversation. And like, you think them going upstairs is really, they not going to hear it or whatever the case may be. Like I said, if kids are around, just save that conversation for another time. I don't believe that whole stay in the kid's place for the most part. Unless they start raising their voice to adults, obviously then it's all right.
Yeah.
Bring your voice down. You still a kid. Like, these are adults you're talking to. Other than that whole just like a kid got something to say back to the parents, so they got some type of input, and it's like, oh, you're talking back or you're being rude. It's not being rude because a child has a mind of their own. Like, give them the ability to have that free speech.
Well, one last thing, like for example, I used to do something with my daughters that I haven't done in a while, like talk time, where I'll just take each one of them in a room and just have them talk freely. I say to them, you can say anything you want to me. You have free range in this hour, and after this door opens, you can't say it no more. When I tell you, one time my daughter said, you were acting like a bee like last week. I was like, really? She was like, yeah, because I was trying to get your attention and you were on the phone. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like,
one more, you don't want to jump to the B word is crazy.
She didn't call me a bee. She was like, you're acting like a bee. She didn't say it.
It's just extra funny because obviously knowing your kids, it's just like, yeah, that's mad funny to hear out loud. But we're gonna start wrapping this up. So yo, we ain't got no name yet, you heard? I mean, it's gonna come eventually. But obviously follow us on socials for all the latest updates in regards to the pod. You know, shout out your social first. You gotta spell it out for them too because they might not know.
I am Patty J. IAMPATTIEJ.
All right.
I might have said that too fast. I said that a little too fast.
You already know.
I guess insert it or something.
It's your boy Jay Evans, man. JAYYEVANS __. You know, like I said, follow us both for any updates in regards to the pod. We'll try to make this spin this next week. I don't even know. We don't even know the drop schedule. We'll figure it out, guys. But
exactly.
you know, until next time, we'll holla at y'all, man.
You're